Okay, class, let us continue. Okay. The periodic table of elements arrange all known chemical elements in an informative array. Okay. So again, the elements are arranged on our periodic table, and the arrangement are based on the similarities on their properties. Elements are arranged from left to right and top to bottom in the order of increasing atomic numbers. Are you familiar with atomic numbers? Ngayon, magiging familiar na kayo. Okay. Next, let us continue. Okay. Kung mapapansin ninyo, I have here a diagram. Tignang mabuti. Okay, on our diagram, we had here rows and columns. Pakisabi nga. Rows and columns. Yes. Okay. The horizontal rows in the periodic table, ito yung tinatawag natin na period or series. Yes, very good. Pakisabi nga ulit, period or series. Yes, very good. Next one, the vertical columns. Okay. Ito naman yung tinatawag natin na groups or families. Pakiulit nga ulit, group or families. Very good. Okay, tandaan ninyong mabuti yan dahil gagamitin nyo ito sa pagdidiscuss pa natin ng mga susunod na features ng ating periodic table. Now, let us continue. Okay, now, class, let us continue. Now, we had here atoms. O, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng atoms? Atoms are the basic unit of elements. Tama. And it is composed of 3 subatomic particles. Masyado bang mabilis? Hindi naman. Okay, ano nga ba yung una nating subatomic particles? Makinig mabuti. Ito yung tinatawag nating neutron. Pangalawa is protons. At pangatlo is electrons. Ngayon, saan sila matatagpuan in an atom? For neutrons and protons, it can be found inside the nucleus on the center of an atom. And for electron, surrounds the nucleus. Okay. Maliwanag ba yan? Okay. Kung maliwanag, let us continue. Class, let us continue with atomic numbers. Okay. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng atomic numbers? We had, okay. It is also the number of protons in an atom, and the number of protons identifies the element. For example natin dito in our diagram is carbon number 14. Okay. So here, it shows the atomic number and the number of protons. Next. Next one is mass number. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng mass number? Okay, an integer number of atomic mass unit. However, the atomic mass on the periodic table is stated as decimal number because it is an average of the various isotope of an element. Yes. The average number of neutrons for an element can be found by subtracting the number of protons or the atomic number from the mass number. Okay. Tandaan nyo yung mabuti, class. Okay. Next one here. we had the number of protons is equals to atomic number of an atom. And the number of protons plus the number of neutrons is equals to the mass number of an atom. So, pwede nating sabihin that the mass number, or it is symbolized with capital letter A, is equals to the number of protons plus the number of neutron. Okay? Tingnan ulit nating mabuti. That, ang symbol natin for atomic number is capital letter Z. And yung mass number natin is capital letter A. Ulitin natin that the number of protons is equals to atomic number of an atom, and the number of protons plus the number of neutrons is equals to the mass number. Okay? Meron bang questions doon? Tandaang mabuti. Kung wala na at maliwanag na siya, let us continue. Okay, class, let us continue with this diagram. So I have here an element, which is an element carbon, and its atomic symbol. Pag sinabi nating atomic symbol, ito din ay tinatawag na element symbol. It is an abbreviation chosen to represent an element. For example, ang symbol natin or atomic symbol natin for carbon is capital letter C. Okay. Lahat ng element ay meron silang mga atomic symbol. Okay, na matatagpuan ninyo on our periodic table. So, tignan natin mabuti. Okay. Next one is standard notations. So, dito, sa ating standard notation dito, ay pinakikita dito yung ating element symbol. For example, this is helium. Ang kanyang element symbol is capital letter H and small letter E. Ang kanyang mass number is 4 and atomic number is number 2. Maliwanag ba yan, class? Okay. Kung wala na kayong tanong dyan, let us continue. Next one, ito. So, kanina, we had an atom. And the three subatomic particles of an atom. So, we had here the symbol. Okay. Yung three subatomic particles is neutron, protons, and electrons. So, what are the symbols? Ano nga ba ang mga symbols nila? So, for neutron is small letter N, and then meron siyang maliit na bilog or degree. Next one, for protons, small letter P and positive. That is the symbol for protons. And for electron, small letter E and negative. Okay. Next, for charges. Okay. For the neutron, it is neutral. Okay, the charges are neutral. For proton, we had positive 1. And for electron, negative 1. That is the charge. Next, that is for neutral atom. Okay. Next one. For mass. For neutron, the mass of neutron is 675 times 10 raised to negative 24. That is the mass of neutron. So, medyo maliit. For protons, 1.672 times 10 raised to negative 24. And for electron, that will be 9.109 times 10 raised to negative 28. Okay. Those are the atomic mass of the 3 subatomic particles. And next one. For protons, it is also known as the atomic numbers. The atomic number. For electron has atomic charges. Pwedeng mag-lose siya ng electrons or yung atoms, pwede siyang mag-lose ng electrons or mag-gain ng electrons. Kapag nag-lose ng electron, ito yung tinatawag nating cations. At pag nag-gain siya ng electrons, yung atoms, ito yung tinatawag nating anions. Do you have any question here? Maliwanag ba ito? Kung wala na, let us continue. Okay. So, sabi natin kanina, for an atom, it can lose an electron or gain an electron. So, meron tayong ditong dalawa. Cations and anions are both ions. If neutral atoms lose an electrons, ito yung tinatawag nating cations. It is positive in charge. And if the neutral atom gains electron, ito yung tinatawag nating anions. It is negative on charge. So, a neutral atom becomes an ion either by losing an electrons or tinatawag nating cations or by gaining an electrons or anions. Maliwanag? Next, cations and anions are both ions. Second, positive ions are called as cations, while negative ions are called as the anions. Thank you for listening. Nandyan pa ba? Kung nandyan pa, okay, bigyan nga ako ng palakpak. Okay, dito pinakikita din, an element that gains an electron forms an ion. So, ayun. Kung mapapansin ninyo dito, yung chloride ion gains an electron. So, eto. Okay. Yan ang tinatawag natin anions. Next one. An element that loses an electron forms a cations. Okay. Example natin, neutral atoms, calcium atoms. Okay. It loses 2 electrons. Ito yung tinatawag nating cations. It loses 2 electrons. Okay. Next. Next one is the development of periodic table and the arrangement of elements on the periodic table and the reactive and non-reactive metals. Okay. So, class, nandyan pa ba? Let us continue. We had here, in terms of the trends in the periodic table, we had here some theories. Like, for example, the theories of Bohr. Okay. Yung tinatawag natin Bohr model of an atom. Okay. We also have here, okay, the valence. Ito yung tinatawag nating diagram on the valence electron or outermost electrons. Yan. Pakitignan. Next one is octet rule. Okay. Sa octet rule, it states that elements gain or lose electrons. Pwede sila ay madagdagan or nabawasan. Okay. it gains or lose electrons to attain an electron configurations of the nearest noble gas to become stable, atom. So if you notice here on our first diagram, we had sodium. Sodium has 1 electron in its outer shell, and by losing this electron, it has a filled outer shell and form a positive ions. Another one is chlorine. Chlorine has 7 electrons in its outer shell. So, 7. By gaining an electrons from sodium, it has a filled outer shell and form a negative ions. Okay. Next. Next one, octet rule states that element gain or lose electron to attain, again, electron configurations of the nearest noble gas to become stable. So dito, I have here with me an example of, again, periodic table of elements. If you notice, on our periodic table of elements, it shows here the elements that are arranged based on the properties, similarities on the properties of these elements from left to right and top to bottom.